Hello to all. The information I'm about to read to you is taken from www.exposingchristianity.com. The Bible, a Jewish conspiracy, and a hoax on the Gentiles. The Bible is a Jewish conspiracy. Christians are deluded under a powerful spell. Christianity is nothing more than a vicious program with the goals of forcing the Gentiles to give up all occult knowledge and powers, so all psychic power is in the hands of select Jews for total control. Indoctrinating the Gentile masses into pacifism and slave-like mentality of servitude, encouraging the Gentiles into giving up all money and worldly goods, which is funneled into the hands of the ruling Jews and their Gentile lackeys like Billy Graham, preparing the Gentile masses for one world common slave state with the ruling Jews in control, channeling Gentile psychic energy and prayers into the second coming of Christ, which in reality the Jewish Messiah, as any working of the mind, must have a connection, cutting the Gentiles off from their own tribal gods and demigods, whose identities have been altered and replaced with fictitious Jewish characters. Our true Creator God has been degenerated, viciously and heinously insulted and blasphemed and relegated to the enemy of humanity. Quote, may his name and memory be blotted out. End of quote. The Jewish Talmud. Quote, we shall destroy God. End of quote. Quote from the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. This list is endless, and it is so glaringly obvious that what was done. Now we all know that Nazarene is fictitious. The Jews themselves know it and don't believe in him, as he is a lie based upon some 20 plus crucified saviors stolen from Gentile pantheons around the world. I have put a lot of effort and time into researching the Bible, as so many people have serious hang-ups because of intense indoctrination with Christianity and the psychic power that has gone into it. It is obvious the Bible is a hoax and a lie. Quote, we shall now endure to answer the question which must naturally arise in the minds of all who see for the first time the similarity in the legends of the Hebrews and those of other nations. Namely, have the Hebrews copied from other nations, or have other nations copied from the Hebrews? To answer this question, we shall first give a brief account or history of the Pentateuch and other books of the Old Testament from which we have taken legends, and show about what time they were written, and second, show that the other nations were possessed of these legends long before that time, and that the Jews copied from them. End of quote. Bible Myths and Their Parallels in Other Religions by T.W. Doheny, copyright 1889, page 92. The creation. Quote, structurally, Genesis 1 from 1 to 11 presents a fascinating insight into how the Bible evolved from a collection of polytheistic myths and legends from various cultures into a mostly coherent monotheistic account of Israelite history. End of quote. 101 Myths of the Bible by Gary Greenberg, copyright 2000, page 3. In summary, every character in the Bible was stolen from pagan Gentile religions and replaced with a Jewish character. Jewish monotheism was stolen from Egyptian Akhenaten. The Jewish creation was stolen from the Egyptian creation. The Jewish Yahweh's use of the word to create was stolen from the Egyptians. Jewish Yahweh replaces Ptah. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let there be light was stolen from the Theban creation epic. The firmament in the midst of the waters was stolen from the Egyptian creation. Adam and Eve were stolen from the Egyptian Geb and Nut. Eve coming from Adam's rib was stolen from the epic of Enki and Nin Horsak. My brother, what hurts thee? My rib hurts me. Annette, 41. Ninti, whose name means Lady of the Rib, cured Enki's rib. Adam and Eve's punishment and loss of immortality were stolen from the Mesopotamian story of Adapa. Jewish Yahweh replaced Sumerian Enki. Jewish Cain, Abel, and Seth were stolen from Osiris, Seth, and Horus. The conflict between Cain and Abel was stolen from Seth and Osiris, and as the story goes on, it is later based upon the Sumerian Dumuzi and Enki Hindu. Jewish Samson was stolen from Hercules. The putting out of his eyes is based on Oedipus. The pulling down of the pillars was stolen from the Egyptian tale about Riharachte. The Jewish story of Jacob and the ladder was stolen from the Egyptian funerary rituals for the deceased king. Quote, Hail to thee, O ladder of God, hail to thee, O ladder of Set. Stand up, O ladder of God, stand up, O ladder of Set. Stand up, O ladder of Horus, wherein Osiris went forth into heaven. End of quote. The Egyptian ladder, consisting of the bodies of two Egyptian deities upon which Osiris ascends into heaven, has been replaced by a ladder with several supernatural beings, angels, climbing up and down between earth and heaven. End of quote. Jewish Moses was stolen from several gods and kings depending on what stage of his life story. Sargon, the birth and abandonment in the river, being rescued by royalty, etc. The wandering in the desert were based upon the sun god Bacchus, as seen in the hymns of Orpheus. The Hebrew stint of 40 years in the desert claimed in the Jewish book of Exodus, and the subsequent 40 days and 40 nights wandering in the desert of the Jewish Nazarene were stolen from. Quote, the struggle of Set and Horus in the desert lasted 40 days as commemorated in the 40 days of the Egyptian land, during which time Set, as the power of drought and sterility, made war on Horus in the water and the buried germinating grain. These 40 days have been extended into 40 years and confessedly so by the Jews. End of quote. Jewish Joshua was stolen from the Egyptian deities Shu and Nun. Jewish Deborah was stolen from the Egyptian goddess Nate. Jewish Noah was stolen from the Sumerian Zusudra. The fictitious Jewish god Yahweh in the Noah story replaced the Sumerian god Enlil, aka Beelzebub. Noah's son Jewish Ham was stolen from Belus. Jewish Nimrod was stolen from the Egyptian Pharaoh Sesostris. Jewish Abraham was stolen from King Hariscandra of the Hindu Sankhya Sutras. Jewish Isaac was stolen from King Hariscandra, son Rohita. The fictitious Jewish god Yahweh in the story replaced the Hindu god Varuna. Jewish character Daniel was stolen from Egyptian Nefertiti. Jewish Noah and Jonah, I don't know how to pronounce it, and the whale. Jonah was stolen from the Hindu character Sakti Deva, found in the Soma Deva Bata. The 12 tribes of Israel, like the 12 disciples of Christ, are based upon the 12 signs of the zodiac. Jewish Lot and his wife were stolen from Greek Orpheus and Eurydice. Jewish Yahweh replaced the Greek god Hades. Jewish Jacob and Jewish Esau were stolen from Horus and Set. Jewish Rebecca was stolen from Egyptian goddess Isis. Jewish Joseph with the 11 brothers were stolen from Egyptian Psammetichus. Jewish story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife stolen from Egyptian Anubis and Bata. The 10 plagues against Egypt were grossly exaggerated and altered and stolen from the Epuver papyrus. The 10 commandments were stolen from the Code of Hammurabi. Jewish Yahweh replaces the Sumerian sun god Shamash, aka Azazel. Jewish David killing Philistine Goliath were stolen from Thor throwing a hammer at Hrungnir and striking him in the forehead. The Jewish Job was stolen from Ugaritic Carrot, and Jewish Yahweh replaces the god El. A Jewish Job was stolen from a story written in the Ugaritic language, cuneiform script, composed circa 14,000 BCE by Ilimilku the scribe. This epic involves Carrot and the god El, not Job and Jehovah. Carrot's family tragedies and illness are comparable with the story of Job. In the original tale, Satan never even entered into the picture. Here, Jewish Jehovah replaces it. By creating opposing gods, one good and the other evil, the Jews have been able to manipulate the world beyond belief. The Jewish book of Proverbs, along with the writings in the book of Ecclesiastes, were stolen from the teachings of Egyptian Hotep. Many of the writings in the Jewish book of Joshua were stolen from El Amarna letters. The Jewish book of Judges is comprised of material stolen from the story of Akhat, the diary of Ben Ammon, the Gezer Almanac. The Jewish books of Samuel and Kings contain stolen material from the Maric prophecies, the Stele of Mesha, the Karatep inscription, the Annals of Shalmaneser III, the Black Obelisk of Shalmaneser III, the Annals of Tiglath-Pileser III, the Annals of Sargon II, the Siloam inscription, the Yam inscription, the Lachlish letters, the Arad Ostrasa, the Annals of Sennacherib, the Annals of Nebuchadnezzar II. More stolen material in the biblical book of Ezra and Nehemiah from the cylinder of Cyrus. Jewish Mordecai stolen from the Babylonian god Marduk. Jewish Esther and the Jewish book of Esther was stolen from Ishtar, aka Astaroth, Astarte, Ashtar. The Jewish Virgin Mary, Queen of Heaven, was stolen from Astaroth. Jewish John the Baptist was stolen from Anub, baptizer of Horus. Both lost their heads. Jewish Judas was stolen from Seth. Jewish Matthew was stolen from Thoth. Jewish Thomas was stolen from Tammuz. Quote, like Jesus, the great god Hermes was also wrapped in swaddling clothing and placed in a manger, I don't know how to pronounce it, as was Dionysus. End of quote. The Gentile gods wound up in the grimoires of blasphemy. Quote, no other people has ever been so conscious of ultimate primacy through supernatural intervention. This has given them cohesion and courage to persevere in the face of persecution and decimation. The conviction that every Jew will one day share in his divine destiny as a member of the world's ruling race has made him proud and has enabled him to survive unassimilated among the nations of the earth. End of quote. Quote, included in the promised inheritance was a deliverer of Messiah to bring about the kingdom. The Messiah would be either a temporal human leader who his army would overthrow the enemies of Israel, or a supernatural being who would do likewise establish an everlasting Jewish kingdom as well. End of quote. Quote, Jewish imperialism would thus come as the awaited deliverer, destroyed the enemies and gave their booty to Israel. As Larson says, this Messiah shall bring judgment upon the Gentiles, and they shall become the slaves of Judah. End of quote. The above two paragraphs were excerpts taken from Christ's Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold by Acharia S. Copyright 1999, taken from pages 325 and 326. The purpose of the Bible was to give the Jewish people a history they never had, to give the Jewish people a special status as the chosen of God, to enable the Jewish people to advance in their quests of world domination. The Gentiles have been disarmed and spoon-fed a pacifistic anti-life philosophy with Christianity, to keep all cult, psychic and mind power under the control of the Jews and disarm the Gentile populations physically. For the Jewish secret cabal to seize and direct as much psychic energy as possible into the coming of their Messiah, who will unite the Jews and rule the world. This is the fictitious Christ. The Jews themselves know Christ is fictitious. The Temple of Solomon and various other faces of the same theme. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Alright, now. Because the multitude of characters, numbers, and stories were stolen and altered from Gentile sources, they are strong enough in the Gentile racial memory to use a powerful psychic tool for manipulation. Bible myths and their parallels in other religions by T.W. Doyen, copyright 1882, enclosing in the Al Jehovah and Qurat al Yazid. Satan makes it very plain concerning these lies. There is no God but myself. Knowing this, who dares worship the false gods of the Quran and Bible? Satan, from the Qurat al Yazid. Satan, enemy in Hebrew. We shall destroy God. Quote from the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. References: 101 Myths of the Bible by Gary Greenberg, copyright 2000, pages 3 to 24. IBIT pages 11, 13, IBIT pages 14, IBIT pages 17, IBIT pages 43, 44, IBIT pages 55, IBIT pages 56, 57, IBIT page 9, IBIT pages 68, 69, Bible myths and their parallels in other religions by T.W. Doyen, copyright 1882, chapter 8, Samson and his exploits, page 6276, page 144, 101 Myths of the Bible, page 51, Bible myths and their parallels in other religions. The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold by Acharia, as copyright 1999, page 244. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 254 255. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 258 to 62. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 103, 104. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 103, 104, pages 101, 102. Bible myths and their parallels in other religions, page 39. Old Testament parallels, lost and stories from the ancient Near East by Victor Hush, Matthews, and Don C. Benjamin, and 3169, 1991, pages 235, 240. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 135, 137. 101 Myths of the Bible, page 138. 101 Myths of the Bible, page 175, 179. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 180, 181, and Old Testament parallels, pages 41, 45. 101 Myths of the Bible, page 206. Old Testament parallels, pages 62, 67. The Bible myths and their parallels in other religions, pages 90 to 91. Old Testament parallels, pages 201, 211. Old Testament parallels, pages 184, 188. Old Testament parallels, pages 77, 80. Old Testament parallels, pages 85, 105. Old Testament parallels, pages 109, 143. 101 Myths of the Bible, page 292. 101 Myths of the Bible, pages 292, 293. The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold, page 177. The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold, page 171. The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold, page 171. The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold, page 172. The Christ Conspiracy, the greatest story ever sold, page 191. Other references: Popular Dictionary of Assyrian and Babylonian Terminology by F.T. Norton, copyright 2003. The Literature of Ancient Egypt and an Anthology of Stories, Instructions, and Poetry, edited by William Kelly Simpson, copyright 1972. Religions of the Ancient Near East, Sumero, Akkadian religious texts, and Ugaritic epics, edited by Isaac Mendelssohn, copyright 1955. The Ancient Near East, Eastern Volume 1, an Anthology of Texts and Pictures, edited by James Pritchard, copyright 1958. Thank you for listening.